state, I think.
Something like that. But how about your budding neighbors like Tweet Kimball?
By who?
Tweet Kimball?
Oh,
That's a story in itself.
yeah. You know, it's going to be a 7-hour thing. Tweet Kimball was the rancher to the north, south of us, Cherokee Ranch. And I went down and met her, and I went up to the castle with Pat Farrell. You've heard this story, probably?
Oh, I don't know. I've heard lots of stories.
And knocked on her door, Barbara.
F-A-R-R-E-L-L.
One more time.
F-A-R-R-E-L-L.
And he was my manager in the Aurora project, but very nice guy, very businesslike and good looking, handsome. Went down there and made an appointment with her, and went up to the castle and knocked on the door, and she graciously said, "Mr. Toepfer?" I said, "Yes, Mrs. Kimball." And she said, "Won't you come in?" I said, "Okay." And then she's got her back to me. She's walking to one of these little round coves, what do you call it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, "I know why you're here." I said, "Why, Mrs. Kimball?" "You want my vote in the planning commission?" I said, "No." I said, I'm over here to just introduce myself because we're your neighbors now. You know, you're right there. Now, is there anything you want us to do? I said, "You have the most beautiful things of red Angus I've ever seen. Mr. Toepfer, this is what you can do. They are not red Angus, they're Santa Gertrudis. And the first thing you're going to do is fix your fence so they don't come over and impregnate all my cattle." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, I'll try to take care of that." So we talked for a long time. Finally, we went out to lunch. I feel embarrassed, but she's dead. Okay. So, but she became the dearest friend. We'd have her to dinner. She'd only come to my house if I had lobster. You know, we went to lunch, and we went to Chateau Pyrenees.
Oh, yeah.
But it was closed. We were too late. So we went up to some place on Bellevue, and she drank wine. And boy, she did drink wine. And so we got in the car, and on the way back, I got one of these little vials that, you know, with cinnamon or something. And she said, "Jim, what is that?" I'm on a gym basis now. I said, it's your breath thing." She said, "Could I have some?" And I said, "Well, sure, here." And all the way from there out to the castle down there. And by the time we got to her place, she had taken it all. But she became the dearest friend. And I do want to tell you this one story, because two stories with her, because she was key. She was really the big wheel kind of there in the planning commission, but they were all just wonderful people. And we got invited out to an informal get-together, and Sue wore a sweater and a dress, a skirt and a sweater, and I wore like this. We get there and they're all in nice sport coats or suits. That was informal, and I learned that Wisconsin informality is so different than Colorado, you know. So we got to know, like I say, we got to know each other so well, and we'd invite her, Sue and I invite her to lunch or dinner, and we just got to know her so well. Not you know, business-wise, we just were friends. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Princess Anne came from England. Have you heard this story? Do you want me to tell it?
Yes, absolutely.
And so Princess Anne came, and they put on a big presentation up at one of the schools up in Denver, and then she had them out Saturday night. Princess Anne, her Lord Mayor of London, her entourage, ladies in waiting, the whole batch of them, and all the governors, maybe 3 governors around to look at, you know, and all the senators and everything else. And she isn't there yet, and everybody is mingling around. And you've been in the place, and so it's a big room there, and all the people, the center is pretty clear. Mm-hmm. And I look over, and there Tweet's one to me. I said, Sue said, "Tweet wants you." I said, "Okay." Went over, and she said, "Mr. Toepfer, you're the only one I'm concerned about tonight. This is royalty. This is royalty, and I don't want you to make an error. Now, if by some strange reason she comes up to you you curtsy and Sue curtsies and you take her hand and bow a little bit. And that's it, unless she starts a conversation, but just say so nice. And she said, now go back to where you were. So, okay, so about 15 minutes later, Princess Anne has arrived with her entourage. And I said, oh. It was, you know, it was really exciting, you know. Princess Anne of England. And so she's talking to her quite a while, 10, 15 minutes. Finally she said, ladies and gentlemen, Princess Anne is now going to go around and meet you people and wish her the best. Okay, she's going to meet you now. And she heads right straight across that whole thing to me. Of all these 150, 200 people, she comes right over to Sue and me, not a tweet suggestion. And fortunately, I could bow and Sue curtsies. And Sue said later, she said, gee, Jim, I couldn't say anything. What do you say to a princess? You know, so you just say, you know, because Tweet had said beforehand, you don't say, how you doing, babe? You know. But she was a kick. She's the only woman I ever saw that had her face pressed against the windshield to see as she drove. She was, I think she was blind.